Hey guys, Joe here from Soakey Dokey. Today I'm going to be showing you one of the coolest, easiest, simplest, funnest recipes around for making bath bombs at home using only ingredients that you probably already have laying around the house. Before we start, I'd just like to remind you, if you like this video and want to see more, leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is gather our ingredients. This recipe is going to call for lemon juice mixed with water. I like to use a 50-50 ratio. If you don't have lemon juice on hand too, don't worry about it. I like to use the lemon juice because it adds just a little bit more citric acid to the mix, helps it fizz a little better, but if you don't have it, you don't need it. Next is baking soda, vegetable oil, table salt, and our last ingredient, Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah!
So the great thing about the Kool-Aid is that a lot of recipes are going to ask that you use citric acid, food coloring, fragrance oils, essential oils, things that are kind of tough to find and that you might not have laying around the house. The Kool-Aid bypasses that because it's got plenty of food coloring, tons of fragrance. When you make bath bombs out of this, it's going to smell exactly like Kool-Aid. When you take a bath, it's going to be taking a bath smelling exactly like Kool-Aid, which is fantastic. And then it's got citric acid in here too, and that's what's going to help the bath bombs fizz. So when you throw it in the tub, you get the good fizz, you get it bubbling all over the place. Just be sure that when you buy this, you get the kind that doesn't have the sugar already added, so that you don't end up with a sticky bath. Okay, so we have our ingredients. The last thing we need is a mold for our bath bombs. You can use cookie cutters. You can use muffin pans if you have muffin pans, ice cube trays. I like to use Christmas ornaments, just the cheapo plastic ones that you get at the dollar store. They're nice and easy to cut in half, and when you do that, you get a nice round bath bomb. So, we've got our molds, we've got our ingredients. Let's start making. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 1 cup of baking soda. Right about there. Next, we're going to add some salt. And again, this is just regular old table salt. But if you have Epsom salt at home, feel free to use that. They say it can be very soothing in place of the table salt. But for this purpose, for our purposes, the table salt will work just fine. And so there's our half cup of that. Next, we're going to add 4 packs of the Kool-Aid. And we are going to do, let's try pink lemonade first. I want to see how that pink looks. Alright, so 4 packs of Kool-Aid. Alright. Boy, and there's just no missing that smell. It smells exactly like pink lemonade. That's terrific. Okay, so we've got our dry ingredients. Now we're going to take and do, I'm going to say about a capful of vegetable oil. We don't need a lot. We'll start with a capful. Yeah, that looks good. That's actually probably a little bit more than we needed, but that'll be just fine. And then we've got our lemon juice and water spray. We're just going to do a few sprays of that. You don't want to do it too wet. And you don't want to get it too dry, so we're going to mix this a little bit until it gets to right about the right consistency. Okay, so it's just a little dry. It's almost there. You want the consistency you're going for is something right about like moon sand.
That's 1 small step for man.
Give it just a little more water. Now, if they're too dry, they're going to want to break when you try to make them. If they're too wet, they're going to sag and squish. So it's kind of tricky dialing in on that. But it's usually just a handful of sprays, 5-6 sprays for this much should be more than enough. And you see how when I hold it, it kind of clumps together. And then if I shake it a couple of times, it'll break into big pieces. That's what we want. That's the moon sand. All right, so mix that just a little more thorough. All right. Now, I'm going to set this over here and let it rest. And then we're going to make these other types too. And so in this one we're using vegetable oil. You can use, there's so many different types of oils you can use. With our bath bombs that we make at Soakey Dokey, we like to use coconut oil, but you can use shea oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use jojoba, jojoba, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you can use whatever that oil is called. Okay, so we've got all of our mix made. Now for the fun part. We're going to make some bath bombs. So I'm going to start with this mold here. And let's start with pink. I want to see how that pink looks. So what we're going to do is just take, and we're just going to pack that in, not very tight. You just kind of want to loosely pack it into one side. We'll take the other half, and we'll loosely pack it into that side. Maybe a little more. All right, now we're just going to squish them together. Look at that, nice and easy. And we got a bath bomb. So there's one. Let's try, I want to do the blue next. And there's one of each of our colors. So now I'm going to go through and just kind of have a little fun with this, and let's see what we can come up with. Alright, there you have it. Kool-Aid bath bombs. If you want to see how these work, stay tuned for our next video where we try these out in the tub. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.